Creative continuity at Motor City Comic Con. Get the latest news directly from cosplayers, artists, writers, and the occasional celebrity. Tune in for Creative Continuity's coverage of Motor City Comic Con. We bring the convention to you.
Talking with artist Tyler Kirkham. And then just all through high school, I really, just continued to draw. And then right out of high school, I ended up having a friend that lived in California, and I would send him some of my artwork because he was also an artist, and he was, he liked to draw comic stuff as well. And he just he was living with a roommate, and the roommate took my stuff to the Top Cow office in Santa Monica, which was like, 15, 20 minutes away from where they lived. And I ended up getting in touch with one of the editors that way. You know what I mean? Like, my buddy had went in there, made showed her some of my work, and then from that on, it kind of got my foot in the door, even though I wasn't ready to actually be drawing comics, but it did kind of get my foot in the door to where I could then, get a hold of that editor and show her my work as I did new stuff. So when I went to San Diego the next time, I was able to go in and meet with her, and she just let me back, let me come back and show her my work, and she said, "Hey, if you can move out to California, I think you can do something here." Because I was actually working on. She hooked me up with a small project called The Gift. Okay. An independent book that I did a while ago. Yeah. I did like 9 issues of it or something. That was my first comic work, and so I did that for a while, and then I ended up working at Top Cow for a while.
What was the next couple projects they put you on?
First major project I did with Top Cow was Strike Force, and then I did some Tomb Raider, Vice, and some crossovers like Superman, The Darkness.
What'd you enjoy most working on there?
At Top Cow?
Yeah.
Probably the crossover stuff. Like I did the Superman Darkness, I did Darkness Wolverine. We did this thing called Fusion, which was New Avengers. With like Cyberforce or something like, something like crazy like that. Thunderbolts were in there and everything. It was pretty awesome, man.
Did those projects get you in the door kind of with those other major publishers?
Yeah, well, Marvel already had a deal with Top Cow. Okay. To where Mark Silvestri was drawing some new X-Men books. And during that same time, some of the Top Cow artists got to do some Marvel stuff. I did New Event, or I did Phoenix Warsong, did Ultimate Fantastic Four, some Amazing Spider-Man. So yeah, that definitely got my foot in the door with Marvel. But after I had left Top Cow, I ended up going to DC though. So
what did DC initially offer you at that point?
Green Lantern Corps. Yeah, I had known one of the editors from DC for like a few years, and it was one of those things where I would talk to him at conventions, and we would talk about doing something at some point. And then when it finally came around to it, he said, I was thinking about doing it, and I said, well, what book are you going to put me on? And it was, Green Lantern Corps. And at the time, this was like a year before the movie was coming out, or not even that. And it was like Green Lantern was like the hottest thing, on the shelves. Man.
Has experience been at DC probably best amongst the companies you've worked at, or do you prefer working for another company? Or?
Well, Top Cow was great, dude. Like I had absolutely no bad experiences there the whole time I was there. In fact, it was really hard for me to actually like make the leap and do the DC thing. But and I still have good relationships with everyone at Top Cow. But yeah, DC's been great. But it's just like working. They're just bigger. You know what I mean? I work with more editors. Top Cow only had like 1 or 2, you know what I mean? So, and you get to DC and there's like 10 editors or something, you know what I mean? So each project you're working with someone different typically.
What's your favorite project been at DC thus far in your career there?
Well, I did the Green Lantern stuff for like 2 years, so probably that for sure, just because it's so diverse, like the universe is, there's no limit to like how creative you can be in the Green Lantern universe. So definitely that, man, for sure.
Did you enjoy drawing characters like Guy Gardner, John Stewart?
Yeah, I did Kyle like obviously the most, from Green Lantern Corps. and then launching New Guardians. Kyle was the main character, and they liked what I was doing with him, so they continued to have me draw Kyle, because they kind of liked my take on how I was drawing him. So, but yeah, doing all the other guys was fun as well. I didn't really get to draw Hal that much, honestly. Maybe a couple times, During the War of the Green Lanterns, I got to draw Hal a couple times.
Yeah.
But he's fun.
In Action Comics right now, what do you? It's Superman's being taken off the planet a little bit, and what do you have planned for those upcoming issues?
Yeah, I mean, it is a space type story. I don't know what I can say about it, to be honest. I don't know what's even been.
Just say something.
It's a space story. No, it's got the Atomic Knights in it,
Yeah.
and I think the solicit said something about the Atomic Knights are looking in search of their god.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Superman ends up, getting involved.
You have any other upcoming projects coming up?
Yeah, I do, man. I got a book coming out through Zenoscope in June.
Okay.
June 5th. It's called Screwed. It's a 6-issue miniseries. It's kind of a modern reimagining of the Frankenstein legend with a female lead. It's dark suspense, action, thriller. And I also have a children's book that we did a Kickstarter through. It'll be available probably on my website or Amazon.
Okay.
And it's my wife wrote it and I illustrated it. And it's about it. That and the DC stuff,
Yeah, you're trying to take a little break with the children's story to appeal to those younger audiences.
Well, I mean, it really just kind of comes down to sometimes wanting to do something different. You know what I mean?
All right, thanks, Mr. Kirkham. And this is Tommy Zimmer for Motor City Comic Con.
It calls the 10 Commandments of successfully working with artists. And if you're a writer and you want to create comics and you want to work with artists, these are probably the 10 best rules or commandments or guidelines that I could give people that might be interested. Number 10, thou shalt keep in mind that good artists will always be made other offers. Good comic artists will quickly become noticed and then start to be made offers by other aspiring creators, professional writers, and even editors and publishers. It's the cost of doing business, and you should be happy for any artist you are working with if his or her work gets him or her called up to the big leagues. It means you have a good eye for talent, and if it's an amicable breakup, it will do nothing but help you in the future. Sometimes it really does come down to who you know and what they think about you. How many people know Robert Kirkman's comic Invincible? Try and get them on, people know it. How many of you know about Ted Noodleman? I'm sorry, Cap. I'm not. If Cap, if you're ever listening to this, I'm not dogging you. Ryan Otley, who draws Invincible now, drew a comic for a buddy of mine, Jim Keplinger, called Ted Noodleman. His work on Ted Noodleman, which actually came out as a trade somewhere, you can dig around and find it. Real cool. Very cool series. Still my friend, I hope, Cap. But his work on Ted Noodleman got him noticed by Robert Kirkman to draw Invincible, when the original artist wasn't able to maintain the drawing the series for whatever reason. That happens. As a professional person, and as this person's friend, or even if you're not their friend, as a coworker, you want to be happy for them. Is it bitter? Of course it's bitter. But it can be a very, very positive thing. Because the comic industry is very, 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 very small. And word spreads quick. I have worked with people who have worked with Alan Moore. The Alan Moore, the mighty beard of Alan Moore. Please don't turn me into a frog if your beard is Alan Moore. Well, it's online, you won't hear it, right? Oh, that was a little cryptic, I apologize. But I actually have talked to Alan Moore online as well. I've talked to Alan Moore, the guy that wrote Watchmen, Swamp Thing. One of the first comics I ever read was Watchmen. It's that small. He doesn't even have a computer on him. He doesn't use email and stuff like that. The industry is tiny. Tiny, tiny, tiny. And I give people this analogy all the time. The comic industry is a very small pool, so it's very easy to tell who's peeing in it. Really. It's not tough. So, in the event that you're working with an artist and they get picked up by someone else, get made a better offer, that they're better issues to take that, be cool about it, man, or woman, you know. Be nice about it. Be cool. Because down the road, you know, you guys will cross paths again, or what if they go get a job at Marvel or DC or working for Robert Kirkman or whatever, and you don't want to be the one that, you know, imagine if my buddy Kep was a real jerk to Ryan Otley, you know, said, oh, I'm going to wreck you, you big jerk, I'll kick your kittens. Well, then Robert Kirkman becomes one of the head honchos over at Image. And one day, my buddy Jim Kep goes to pitch another book to Image. And Kirkman's one of the big dogs over there now. He wasn't at the time. One of the big dogs there now. Is he gonna graciously look at helping give this guy a chance? Maybe if he's a really, really super nice guy, he will, but he would also have every reason to be kind of like, eh.
Stanley's my dad, and
I want you to start on Spider-Man. That's probably what he said to you.
Do you know about Bestow Productions? We're the area's leader in video production. We provide quality, award-winning, and professional work in television commercial advertising, video for the web, video content for direct distribution, video on demand, and so much more. Give us a call at 570-486-4948 and see what Bestow can do for you. And now you know.